The lights dim, the trailers roll, and a palpable hum of anticipation fills the theater. With all the incredible hype building for 2025's sci-fi slate. Blockbuster announcements dropping like meteor showers. It's time to ask, are some of these movies, despite their immense promise and astronomical budgets, destined to disappoint? Is 2025 a year of cinematic triumph, or a minefield of overhyped sci-fi risks? Every year, the sci-fi genre pushes boundaries, delivers breathtaking visions, and occasionally falls flat on its face. We are going to peel back the layers of speculation surrounding some of the most anticipated sci-fi movies of 2025, diving deep into the reasons why even the most promising projects could falter. We're talking about the lurking variables, the creative tightropes, and the fundamental challenges that could turn a potential masterpiece into a collective shrug. Let's explore the 2025 sci-fi movie predictions and the significant risks involved. First up, let's talk about the perennial lure of the legacy reboot or sequel. For 2025, we're already seeing whispers and confirmed green lights for continuations of beloved, often decades-old franchises. Think about it. A new entry in a universe we thought was long dormant. Perhaps a return to a specific aesthetic or a new chapter in a saga that defined a generation. The hype is immediate, almost automatic. Fans have built these universes up in their heads for years, crafting elaborate fan theories and ideal scenarios. And that's precisely where the danger lies. Directors and writers face an almost impossible task: satisfy the existing, fiercely loyal fanbase while simultaneously appealing to a new generation. Do they stick rigidly to established canon, risking accusations of unoriginality, or do they pivot drastically, alienating the very people who built the hype in the first place? We've seen this dance before. For every Blade Runner 2049, a visually stunning, critically acclaimed sequel that still struggled at the box office, there's a Terminator, Dark Fate, or a Matrix Resurrections. Films that attempted to reignite a spark only to be met with a collective sigh. The potential for these most anticipated sci-fi movies 2025 to disappoint, simply by failing to meet 2 decades of built-up expectation, is astronomically high. It's a precarious tightrope walk, often ending in a painful fall. Our second area of concern centers around the visionary director's ambitious, often original, projects. Every few years, a director with a distinctive visual style and a track record of either groundbreaking successes or spectacular failures gets a blank check to create their next big sci-fi epic. For 2025, we know there are several such projects on the horizon. The promise is dazzling: a unique voice, innovative world building, and a cinematic experience unlike anything we've seen. But this is a true double-edged sword. While these directors can deliver masterpieces, they can also become so enamored with their own aesthetic that the story, character development, or even basic narrative coherence takes a backseat. Think Jupiter Ascending, or even some of the more divisive works from otherwise brilliant minds. The budget is immense, the visual effects are state-of-the-art, and the initial trailers look mind-blowing. But if the core story is convoluted, emotionally inert, or simply nonsensical, then all that visual splendor becomes little more than an expensive screensaver. These are the kinds of 2025 sci-fi movie risks where the ambition is sky high, but the landing can be excruciatingly hard, leaving audiences wondering what they just watched. Besides beautiful CGI. Next, let's tackle the notoriously treacherous territory of adaptations, specifically from video games and notoriously complex books. We're forecasting several big-budget adaptations for 2025, Betting on the built-in audience of popular IPs. The thinking is sound. Millions already love this story. These characters. This world. Surely, translating it to the big screen is a guaranteed win. History, however, begs to differ. Video game adaptations. Despite recent glimmers of hope like Arcane or The Last of Us on TV, remain a cinematic graveyard. The interactive nature of games often struggles to translate to passive viewing. How do you capture the essence of a sprawling RPG like Mass Effect in 2 hours? How do you make the slow burn existential dread of H.P. Lovecraft-esque novel palatable to a mainstream audience without losing its soul? Filmmakers often choose to simplify, to streamline, or to outright change core elements, leading to fan outcry and critical disdain. The 2025 sci-fi movie predictions for these projects often hinge purely on brand recognition, not on the inherent cinematic quality of the source material. It's a high-stakes gamble that often underperforms, making these some of the most overhyped sci-fi releases with the biggest potential for disappointment. Our fourth category of potential disappointment for 2025 revolves around films that prioritize visual effects and grand spectacle above all else. With advancements in CGI, what's graphically possible is truly astonishing. We can render entire alien ecosystems, interstellar battles on an unprecedented scale, and physics-defying combat sequences with photorealistic detail. And for 2025, expect to see an abundance of these visually stunning trailers. The trap here is simple. If the visual effects become the point of the movie, rather than a tool to serve the story, then the film can quickly become hollow. Audiences are sophisticated. They've seen spectacular CGI before. What truly resonates are compelling characters, meaningful stakes, and an emotional core. If a movie is just a series of increasingly elaborate set pieces without narrative cohesion or genuine character investment, the initial awe quickly gives way to fatigue. These are the sci-fi movies that look incredible in a 90-second trailer, but over 2 hours, the sheer volume of dazzling effects can ironically make the film feel less impactful. It's a very real risk for several heavily promoted 2025 sci-fi releases, particularly those boasting, never-before-seen, cinematic achievements. So, as we brace for the incredible sci-fi slate of 2025, remember that hype is a powerful, yet fickle, force, while the potential for groundbreaking cinema is undeniably there. These inherent challenges, from legacy expectations and visionary director gambits to adaptation woes and CGI spectacle traps, mean that not every anticipated blockbuster will live up to its promise. Some of the most anticipated sci-fi movies 2025 are riding a wave of enthusiasm that might just crash. Which of these potential pitfalls worries you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on all things sci-fi, dissecting the hits and misses before they happen, be sure to subscribe. Next time, we'll flip the script and discuss the underdogs of 2025. The films that might surprise us all. Don't miss it. Which of these potential pitfalls worries you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on all things sci-fi, dissecting the hits and misses before they happen, be sure to subscribe.